Hey guys, welcome back to playing Desire and Decorum, Book 1, Chapter 7. You're invited to the opera, shop for a dress to dazzle, then visit a rehearsal to learn about your mother's life as an opera star. So I'm excited to learn more about our late mother, that's what they call it. So I'm a bit out of it today, didn't really get much of a sleep last night. So sorry if I sound like, not as energetic as I usually am. But here we are with Desire and Decorum. Chapter 7. Opera St. James. Still waking up, you look at the formal invitation that Burr hands you. Miss Parsons is clutching an identical one of her own. April 5th, 1816. Lady Dakota of Edgewater. Duke Richards of Carlton entreats the honor of your presence at Opera St. James on Saturday next at 8:30. The favorable reply is requested. Opera St. James, that is where my mother sang. Oh, she would have been thrilled to know you're going to there. Opera St. James, home to the great Mary Mills. Your mother was an opera singer? Before I was born. How could you not tell me? What a fantastical life she must have led. You simply must tell me more about her, Lady Dakota. Well, if you call me Dakota, we're friends now, are we not? We don't need titles. Miss Parsons claps your hand in hers. And call me Annabelle. Okay, Annabelle. Now, Dakota, where in the world are we going to wear to be seen at the opera? Something free and cheap. You Miss Parsons walk down the busy street. She loops her arm through yours as you pass various shops. My sisters are so thrilled to finally play matchmaker that I fear they shall actually rent out a storefront to display me. Is that why you weren't at Mr. Sinclair's dinner? Miss Parsons rolls her eyes. I know, well, I'd much rather have been there with you. Believe me, tell me all about it. Who did he sit you with? Was there dancing? She gives you a sidelong smile under lowered lashes. Did you miss me? Duh. Every moment. At the party, Duke Richard showed up uninvited. Miss Holloway seemed to find me threatening. Miss Sinclair spoke over me. I mean, all three. No. Yes. Yes. And he seemed to go out of his way to bait Mrs. Sinclair. What's going on between them? No one's talking about something terribly scandalous. But what were you doing that you couldn't attend? Miss Parsons gets exasperated as she reached the tailor shop. The air inside is dry and fragrant with the smell of waxes and dyes. My sister's husband sent a friend of his to ask me for a drive in the park, and he simply wouldn't hear of anything but that except. And was he nice? Oh, Dakota, he was such a bore. He talked of nothing but trade and the weather, and I couldn't think which one he made sound worse. I'm sorry. It really was quite beastly, and the worst part is he spoke of making an offer for me, as if all one needs is marriage is for one's fortunes to be compatible. You should not settle for anyone you cannot care for. Seek romance with someone already dear to you. I mean, both is true. I believe in the second one. Miss Parsons gives you a searching look. You stroke a lock of hair away from her eyes, and her hand traps yours, holding it warm against her. Why should either of us settle for a man who bores us? You cannot mean what I think, Dakota. Can I not? Yeah, it's me. Miss Parsons takes a shaky breath and steps back. I think we had best look at the dresses. She turns her attention to the shop wearers, moving aside bowls of cloth to search through the finished samples. Oh, you will look so lovely in this one. She holds up a beautiful blue silk dress decorated with heavy bronze brocade. I swear, half the people at the opera spend their time watching the boxes, not the performers. This will definitely draw the eye. Ooh. Dakota, you must try it on. Isn't this the same outfit that we are always told to wear? You sneaky. You're sneaky. It's beautiful, but too fine for me. I have other dresses I could wear. You're beautiful in everything, Dakota. You look at the blue silk one more time to turn away. I am more interested in watching the show than being watched myself. You pull your regular clothes back on regretfully, and you and Miss Parsons head for the door. You emerge from the tailor shop into the bright light of the street. Blinking, you hear someone calling your name. Oh, Hamid. We're going to go to Will's surprise. You see Prince Hamid across the street, walking with Duke Richards. Uh-oh. My lady, I have not dared hope to have the pleasure today. You and Miss Parsons both curtsy to the Duke. Your Grace? Prince Hamid takes your hand and brushes a quick kiss across the knuckles. Why, Prince Hamid, what a surprise. I thought you only cared to see me when I was lost and needed rescuing. Perhaps today is who I must be rescued. And from what? Don't spend any more time talking to old man Parliament. So instead you'll flirt with every beautiful girl you meet. Like literally we're flirting in front of the Duke. Prince Hamid laughs. I should not offend my dear friend Duke Richards. If I must vote for my treaty tomorrow, I will have to return to Constantinople in disgrace. But I was hoping to spend more time together. I'm with Miss Parsons. I shall say not that the perfect rose bloom in your cheeks, or the way the sun lights your glorious hair. And I shall pretend you mean only to compliment me, and not charm me out of my good judgment. Does your cousin the Sultan know you will risk an international incident over a pretty smile? First time he grins to the Duke. Ah, but what a smile! I have heard your reputation, your highness, but I must say it hardly does you justice. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, lady. Miss Parsons. As Prince Hamid bows to Miss Parsons, the Duke steps between you and him, commanding your attention. I receive your maid's note accepting my invitation to the opera. I'm thrilled you'll be joining me. Unfortunately. What show will we be seeing? It will be the opening night for the new show at Handel's Almira. That sounds lovely, but I'm not sure what it's about. I can't wait to see who else is there. Almira has some of my favorite arias. I don't even know what it's about. It's a lovely story, of course. A love story. What else is worth singing about? Now, I shall not ask you to ruin whether it's a comedy or a tragedy. Comedy. It will hardly serve my purpose to show you a story warning against losing your heart. I thank you for including me as well, Your Grace, and I'm quite excited to attend. Oh, are you all to be at Almira? How delightful. I will never miss the opening. Shall I send my carriage round to pick you up and we could go together? I hardly think that's necessary. Of course it's not necessary. Were it necessary, it would be far less extravagant a gesture, no? And we can't have that. It might be your treaty will be approved faster if you spend less time thinking of extravagant gestures. But why would I wish to leave your beautiful landing sooner? Prince Hamid turns to smile at you. It's settled then. You will not break my heart by keeping me from showing off to you. As the four of you around the corner, the Duke takes your hand in both his, pulling you to a stall. Like certain Ottoman, I voice actually have further business in Parliament this afternoon, so I shall take my leave. Good day, Your Grace. Duke Richard strides out towards the Parliament building just as Miss Parsons glances across the street. The Upper St. James that sit right there. You look over the white stone building, no different than dozens of others you passed on your way. Yep. I wonder if they let us inside. They will when you tell you're the only daughter of the great singer Mary Mills. Your mother was a singer? Then we must go in. Who would believe me? He takes your arm to cross to where the great double doors of the opera house are barred shut. I spent much time at Upper St. James. I know many of the actors. I'm sure they will let us inside. Wonderful. We have nothing like this in Constantinople. No theater where real men and women take on new roles to act them out. No operas or plays. Not even in your own language? The closest we have is a kind of a shadow puppet show. The operators put the puppets behind a curtain so you see only, how do you say, silhouettes? Miss Hamid looks away, a slight blush on his olive skin. I'm ashamed to say that much of it is crude humor, though, quite unsuitable for gentle ladies. Crude humor? I wouldn't mind watching that with you. How shocking! I mean, with puppets, how is that even possible? You truly wish me to answer that? Not in front of me, please. You Parson and Prince both laugh. At the upper house doors, Prince Hamid pulls the heavy velvet rope for the bell. He gives a friendly nod to the man who answers. Albert, my friend, we have come early to visit. Would it be a huge imposition for us to come inside? The prince quickly explains who you are. With a nod and a smile, the doorman throws open the huge upper house doors. Inside, the upper house is dark and cool compared to the bright streets. Nice. So this is where your father first saw your mother on that stage. So strange to see. I wish I had asked her more questions. How did she become a singer? She always told me that the performers were her family. She never talked a lot about her past, but sometimes I could get her to tell me more stories. I love hearing how she was seen and admired, played different roles, lost herself in the music. I kind of like played different roles, but also like lost herself in the music. I want to go with music. She said she was sometimes nervous in front of big crowds, but as soon as she started singing, the music took over, and she didn't even see them. I've seen that happen when you sing. You sing, you must sing for me sometime. I would love to. He wandered down the aisle to the stage, looking at the polished oak boards that reflect the candlelight. If it is not presumptuous to ask, how did the Earl of Edgewater come to be an opera singer? My mother never told me much. I wish I knew more. First time he gently takes your hand but drops it as the rear curtains on the stage part to reveal a plump woman in an old-fashioned costume. This is... I forgot her name. But she was in the Crown of Flame, so I see you, baby. I see you reusing Crown of Flame people. She was, I think she was the mother to Rose, and the other guy was his name start with a T? I don't know, but I think she was like the mother to Rose, and that other guy. Your Highness, we told you no more special showings until opening day. First time he kissed the older woman's hand gallantly. Madame Lamy, you are as lovely as ever. You are as big as a liar. But I'm not here for myself today. This was Parson Lady called the Edgewater. We still haven't dress rehearsed, ladies. I'm not certain we can. So sorry, did you only want to see where my mother used to perform? Your mother? I've worked here 25 years. Who? Mallory looks you over carefully, then her eyes light in recognition. You're Mary Mill's daughter. I stick my career on it. Who I knew we should come here. You knew my mother? Of course, everyone knew Mary. She was going to be our biggest star before she had gone the family way. I wish she could have kept singing after I was born. I'm glad I grew up with her at home. It would have been marvelous to grow up in a place like this, surrounded by songs. I told her men don't marry singers, but she was determined that her young man loved her beyond all reason. That does happen sometimes. First time he smells you, you look away, turning your attention back to Madame Lamy. Did you ever meet him, my father? Many times, lovely. He came every night to watch Mary. Seemed the nicest. I never had eyes for anyone but her. Can you tell me more about my mother's singing career, how my parents met, what my mother was like when she was young? I mean, they met here, didn't they? So, um, I don't know. I want to know everything about my mom. But I guess I'll just say this. Mallory walks over to a spot just to the right of the stage. It was after one of her performances at Cleopatra. It came after I found about. There was a young gentleman standing right here, in front of the stage, like he pushed his way forward. My father. Of course. He couldn't take his eyes off her, just still applauding like his heart would burst. Sounds perfectly wonderful. She was swept away in the brightness of it, that's for sure. And Layman smoothed down the apron of her costume. None of us could believe it when Mary ran off with your father, just disappeared one night. I got one letter months later saying she was with the child, come back to us. She did not wish to raise her daughter here. The director would never have stood for it. Wow, really? Let me meet him. I want to punch him. I want to give him some few words. He used to be jealous of Mary, actually. She'd been singing since she was a little girl, and I feel like I could never catch up. How did she get started so young? The way I heard it, she was on a ship to the Caribbean. When the first mate heard her singing. He knew her voice sounded special, so instead of leaving her there, he brought her back to London with him. Gave her over to the company, and they trained her to be one of the best, sopranos Opera St. James ever had. Did she ever miss her family? She loved to hear, but I know she thought about them. I think that's why she was excited for the baby, even ruined her getting them a reputation. A gong sounds backstage and Madeline suddenly looks flustered. And that's my whole break lately. We're about to start rehearsal now. It was so good to meet you. She gathers her skirts of the costume and starts for the stage door, but Prince Hamley takes her hand, slowing her. Perhaps my good friends and I can stay to watch. I can't. Unfortunately, my sisters are having some gentlemen over for tea and expect show me off. I'm late already. Miss Parks kisses your cheek and leaves while Madeleine gives you a big smile. Well, you should definitely stay and watch, milady. You're practically family. Maria's little girl come back to us. It would be rather magical to go backstage to see it all the way my mother used to see. You may find you have a bit of the actress in you. You used to dream of getting a chance to be on stage. This time he holds out a hand to you, inviting you to walk through the stage door. A private showing, just the two of us? We could hardly turn down an invitation like that, can't we? Go backstage with Prince Hamlet for a chance to spend some alone time with him again. A taste of what it's like to be an actress. Honestly, I would go just to see what it's like to be an actress, but not to be with you. I think I'd rather see the show on opening night. Of course, I would not want to take away the magic of your first time. Places! Oh, I must get on stage. I'm in the opening number. Together, you and Prince Hamlet walk through the door and emerge blink into the bright sunlight. Sometime later, you arrive home to find Mr. Harper waiting on the front step. Mr. Harper, what are you doing here? This came today from your father. Is something wrong? As far as I know, but it was addressed to you. I want to make sure you saw before Mr. Malcaster. And thank you for intercepting him. I don't think Mr. Malcaster We don't know. We really don't know. Certainly Mr. Malcaster will spy on my private letters if he could. Won't allow him that. He gives a slight bow and his fingers brush yours as he hands the letter over. So what's it say? My dear Dakota, I am sorry to write, but your inherited status is not finalized. The Countess has engaged the services of a barrister to challenge my will. I pray you quickly find a husband of sufficient status to assure her challenges of sustained. Something like that. The Countess is challenging his will. He needs me to make a match more quickly. Aye, and she will do all she can to prevent that too. You continue reading. Your happiness is important to me. I hope you find a man who warms your heart as well as protect your interests. What about a woman, though? At the garden party, you spend some time with Mrs. Sinclair. If he is of interest, I urge you to ask whether you can reach an understanding, or if there are others your favorite in London, pray tell of them. But I want to be with Miss Parsons. Well, there's a point in question. What does your father say? He asked about Mrs. Sinclair, but how can I know anything with that man? I am sure I can win his favor. I have no interest. As if I want to spend my life being tolerated by a pompous stump who can't learn to smile. He is a man of evil morals, Mrs. Sinclair, but I think he would be kind to you. You deserve kindness. Does the Earl have anything else to say? Or consider whether you might win the no. His power would surely let him protect both you and Edgewater. Write me quickly and say what progress you have made. It's imperative we get your claim settled soon. Yours affectionately, Father. Father, I appreciate it, but no. You signed him, Mrs. Harper, the letter. The Duke again. I can't believe they want me to marry that poor. He will be a powerful husband at that. If my father wants me to be happy, why does he keep talking about the Duke? He's a powerful man. Many women will consider that enough. Not me. You're an unusual woman, Lady Cod. Doubtless you will find a man worthy of you. Mr. Harper folds the letter and you look around, realizing you're still standing on the sidewalk. I must find pen and paper. I should like to write back to my father immediately. Inside, Mr. Harper starts to search for paper. I'll look for paper and ink in the study. But as he turns to go, you both freeze. You hear familiar voices coming from outside. Oh. Simply famished. Almost tea time. If they see me here, I'll be obligated to take tea with them. Would you prefer we take tea outside? We? If you don't mind a poor groom's company. Miss Harper picks up a black fiddle case you didn't notice near the door. I could play you some music while you eat, help you relax a little. If you go outside, you can spend time with Mr. Harper and learn more about his past. Meow. It's probably best if I take tea with Mr. Malcaster and Miss Sutton. I cannot win them to my side if I continually avoid them. As you say. But I should like to reply to my father first, away from prying eyes. You follow Mr. Harper to the dining room, where he lays out paper and ink. Where are you going to tell the Earl about your suitors? Yeah, what am I going to say? You fingered the broken seal on your father's letter, considering. I will tell him I will find a husband higher. I haven't decided. I can only hold Edgewater with you at my side. Wait, who am I talking about? Am I talking about father or am I talking about what's his face? I forgot his name already. Um I'm gonna just say I haven't decided yet. I'll just say it's too soon. I hardly ever met anyone yet. I mean, I want to be with Miss Parsons. I'm nowhere near ready to pick a husband. Besides, no one asked me. Surely that is only a matter of time. If I can only use that time to enjoy myself in London before I must make this decision, my father will have to live with that. Suddenly you hear a gasp of surprise and then both whip around to see Miss Sutton stand in the doorway listening to everything. Oh no. Miss Sutton, were you spying on us? How long have you been there? Get out of here. Were you spying? No, I don't believe you. Lady Dakota is writing to the Earl in private. His son sees the fear in Miss Harper's face and flees past you into the drawing room where Miss Malcast is sitting. How much do you think she heard? I don't know, does it matter? Mr. Harper grimly hands you your pen and paper. Wherever you wish to tell your father, do it quickly, because you could bet that anything Miss Sutton or her will be in Countess Henrietta's hands by dawn. We cannot have that. And whatever it was, the Countess will find a way to use it against me. Oh my goodness. Now I don't trust Miss Sutton. Next time I desire to come, will Miss Sutton Gospel reach the Countess in time to bring your dad at the opera? Or will you steal the show? We are going to steal the show. Because we are our mother's child. Our mother's child. So anyways, this chapter was alright. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's just that it was alright. I mean, we talked to some peeps. We got to see the opera house, so that was interesting. Getting to see where our mother sang. And I do wish that she would have continued singing after, she had us, but you know how it is. So anyways, I'll see you guys next week for the next chapter of Design Decorum. So see you then. Bye-bye.